Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to talk about something really important, what you do in those first few minutes of an emergency. The stuff we're about to cover, from fighting a fire to first aid, well, these are skills that can genuinely save a life.
So think of this as a challenge, but also a huge opportunity. What you're about to see isn't just some boring list of facts. It's a set of simple, practical skills for taking control when it matters most. Okay, let's dive right in.
First up, let's talk about fire. To defeat an enemy, you've got to understand it first. And fire isn't some kind of mysterious magic. Nope, it's just a chemical reaction. And like any reaction, it needs ingredients. Ingredients we can identify and, more importantly, take away.
And that brings us to this key idea, the fire tetrahedron. The easiest way to think about it is like a four-legged stool. If you kick out any one of those legs, what happens? The whole thing comes crashing down. It's the exact same principle for putting out a fire.
So what are those four legs? Well, you need fuel, something to burn. You need heat to get it all started. You need oxygen to feed it. And you need that ongoing chemical reaction to keep the whole party going. Every single fire extinguisher out there is designed to attack and remove at least one of these four things. That's the secret.
All right, now that we know how a fire actually works, let's talk about the tools we use to fight it. And this part is absolutely crucial because not all extinguishers are created equal. Grabbing the wrong one can be totally ineffective, or worse, it can make a bad situation dangerously worse.
You see, fires are sorted into classes based on their fuel. Is it ordinary stuff like wood and paper? Or maybe flammable liquid like petrol? Or is it an electrical fire? Figuring out what's burning is always the first step to choosing the right tool to fight it.
Okay, let's look at two of the most common types. Water is fantastic on solid fires, wood, paper, you name it, because it just yanks the heat element right out of our tetrahedron. But, and this is a huge but, never use water on an electrical fire. Why? Because water conducts electricity. You could get a massive shock, and if you use it on a liquid fire, you could just spread the burning fuel everywhere. Now, dry powder is great for liquids and it's safe on electricals, but it doesn't cool things down, which means the fire might just start right back up. And, trust me, it makes a huge mess.
So what about CO2 and foam? Well, CO2 extinguishers attack the oxygen side of the tetrahedron, basically starving the fire. They're awesome for electronics because they don't leave any gunk behind, but that intense cold can actually damage sensitive equipment. Foam, on the other hand, is brilliant for smothering flammable liquids. It creates this blanket that separates the fuel from the oxygen. But again, because it's water-based, it's a major no-go for electrical fires.
Okay, so you've sized up the fire and you've grabbed the right extinguisher. Now what? Well, now it's time to act. And thankfully, the procedure is designed to be super simple, so you can remember it even when your heart is pounding.
It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, remove the pin. That breaks the little safety seal. Step 2, aim the nozzle. And this is so important. Don't aim for the big, flashy flames up top. Aim right at the base of the fire, where the fuel source is. And step 3, depress the trigger, sweeping from side to side until that fire is completely out.
So you did it. The fire's out and the immediate threat is gone. But an emergency scene is chaotic. Even after the flames are gone, someone could be hurt. Maybe they breathed in smoke, got a burn, or just fell during the panic. And that brings us to our next critical skill, what to do when the emergency becomes medical.
Let's shift gears now to first aid. Just like with a fire, your quick, calm, and correct actions in the first few moments of a medical emergency can completely change the outcome for someone.
But before you just rush in to help, you have to remember this acronym, SAFE. S is for shout for help. You don't have to be a hero alone. A is for approach with care. Is there still any danger around you? F is for free yourself from risk. If you have gloves, put them on. And only then do you get to E, evaluate the victim, to figure out what to do next. Okay, so you've run through the SAFE approach and you know it's clear to act. Now, let's open up the first aid playbook and look at a few of the most critical moves that can make all the difference in the world.
If someone is choking, you need to do the abdominal thrusts, what most of us call the Heimlich maneuver. Get right behind them, wrap your arms around their waist, and give sharp upward thrusts just above their belly button. What you're doing is creating a powerful, artificial cough to force that object out with whatever air is left in their lungs.
Now, what if the person is unconscious? The number one priority is making sure they can breathe. Often their tongue can just fall back and block their airway. The fix is incredibly simple. It's called the head tilt chin lift. You gently tilt their head back
and lift their chin. That simple little movement is often all it takes to pull the tongue forward and open up the airway. If you check and there's no pulse, you need to start chest compressions immediately. Get the person on a hard, flat surface. Put the heel of one hand right in the center of their chest and place your other hand on top. Then you're going to push hard and fast. And just as important as the push is the release. You have to let the chest come all the way back up after each compression.
So, how hard is hard? This is a number you should really try to remember. For an adult, you want to compress the chest by about 4 to 5 centimeters. That depth is what's needed to actually squeeze the heart and pump blood through the body. It's vital.
And for severe bleeding, the answer is simple and direct. Apply firm, direct pressure right on the wound. Use a clean cloth, your hands, whatever you've got. This helps the blood to clot. And if the injury is on an arm or a leg, raising it up above the level of the heart uses gravity to help slow that bleeding down.
And don't forget, while you're doing all of this, someone else needs to be calling for professional help. In South Africa, the number to lock into your brain is 112. You can call it from any cell phone, and it'll get you connected to the help you need.
Let's end this part with the single most important rule of all, the one that trumps everything else we've talked about. It's this simple. You cannot help anyone if you become a victim too. Before you do a single thing, make sure you are safe. Always.
So there you have it, the anatomy of a fire, the right tools for the job, and the core actions of first aid. You've got the knowledge now. The only question left is the one right there on your screen. Are you prepared to act?